G'day everyone, just welcome you to Bruce, the brother here, Bruce Nicholson. This is his collection of tractors and antique machinery of all sorts, and there's a lot of little treasures here. It might look old, but they're treasures to a lot of people because no longer to be found. You know, there's tractors, there's hay rakes, there's even a sausage maker over there. It's very, very old, made out of Sydney. And there's a gas producing machine there. It's for going in the old things back in the war, probably when fuel was short. It's actually made to produce gas. It's got a container on it and the gas floated under the water to hold it. And if you have a look, there's single cylinder motors, there's twin cylinder motors here going back from, I'd say, 1920s onwards. A big majority going. We could have could be 100 motors running, I presume, of all different sorts, water-cooled, air-cooled, diesel. And where we're standing now next to this tractor here, we came from Victoria originally, Warrington as wheat farming. And this tractor's one when we were only kids there that the father bought, and we've done many, many hours on it. And as we look down the way here, along the collection, there's tractors there for the father bought before we were born, and they were brought up from Warrington, Victoria, and further on there's quite a mixture there from Massey Harris, there's Twin City Minneapolis Moline, the yellow ones. Now the Minneapolis Moline not very common around, say, the Boggabri, Baan Baa area, as they came out of the Wimmera in Victoria. There was a good dealer there, so they're a bit uncommon to a lot of people with a big long bonnet. And then you got the usual ones here. There's some case tractors which were very predominant around here because Boggabri itself, they had a good case dealer, McKechnie Brothers. So there's a fair mixture, and some of the machinery we've got from the Queensland border, South Australian border, the Wimmera Mallee, as I said, in Victoria, where it was a very old farming area. That was, and then we've got some stuff over here to my left there, which is actually not on film at the moment, but it's hay rakes and combines. Like the hay rakes come out of Tamworth area in the little lucerne growing areas they were. So there's a big mixture here. You can find something for everyone to have a look at, or people that haven't seen it, you can explain to them what it is, because there's a lot of very, very old technology here, but the modern stuff is really modelled off it. There's not a lot of difference in it, apart from it's plastic. This is cast iron and you can't lift it. So, but as we go around, we'll find a few more things for you to look at and try and explain them to you. And as I said, you'll find all this at Baan Baa, at Bruce Nicholson's. I'll tell you a story about this old Massey tractor here. It's sitting on a log and no wheels. It's called the Style 25, and they tell us by records there's only 1,000 of them made, and we got 2 or 3 of them. That one there was found in the river at Weewar, and why we got that one is because we've got another one in pretty good order, but it had been badly seized and one of the cylinders was not usable. And that thing, even though it was full of creek water, we went in through the sides with the oxy torch and cut a conrod off. We actually jacked a piston and sleeve out, or a couple of them, and we bathed them and sandblasted them up, and lo and behold, they were in beautiful order. And we were able to use the 2 sleeves and 1 piston, I think it was, out of that tractor into this other one, which we'll show you later, and it is now in beautiful running order, and it's 1938 model. This is the old sausage maker we spoke about. It's a Henry Berry, made in Sydney. It's all cast iron. We think it's probably 1920s model, and it's still a goer. The only thing, you just got to put your sausage tube out here, and to fill it with meat, you lift this barrel up, fill him with your meat, pop him down, and all you do is you just wind away like that, and it'll make your sausages. Out they come. And here we go, we've got a tyre changer. It's not electric, it's all manual. It's a Weaver. It's made in Illinois in America. It's quite simple. You've got the big old handle here, sit your wheel on him, wind this handle to tighten your wheel up, and then you pull on this handle, that breaks the bead, and then you take the rest off with levers. It's a massive bit of machinery. And here we are again at some more things of Bruce's collection here. We've got a about 34 model Massey Harris, they're called the Model 25. No electric start, it's crank start, all steel wheels, that's how it originally came out. It's very, very complete, not quite a go at the moment, and it originally was coupled onto this little plough at the back, which is a little 2-furrow Massey Harris disc plough, and that's what they used to use. You know, you'd probably plough, I don't know, maybe 5 or 10 acres for the whole day, and that tractor was naturally on kerosene, and it'd probably only use, you know, like 8 or 10 gallons of kerosene for the day and be boiling away as it went. They always had a bit of steam coming out of the radiator, and fairly rough to ride on, especially with the spud wheels, as you can see. You get a bit of rocky country and they fairly jolt you around. It's, you can see the barrel on the top there, the round top barrel. Well, that had water in it, and when the gas was produced, it'd float that little, like a little floater on the top. It'd float that up and the gas would be underneath it, and I presume you'd run the gas off to run maybe a light. You could run an old motor on it. We've been trying to find some information now, but it's very scarce, and just been piecing things together on that old gas machine. And then if you keep following along, we've got the Massey Harris hay rake there, which was all steel wheels. It would have originally been horse drawn, we think, and now it's got a tractor pull. Of course, then we go along a bit further and we got the little set of disc harrows with the levers and the seat. It had a wooden pole, probably 2 horses pulling that one. You sat on there and operated it all from the seat. And then of course we head across to the old mower. It was the same thing. It was horse drawn, and you sat on the seat and everything was just used manually with the levers. So, and we just keep following along the mowers and another hay rake. And then the farm machine on the end, to what we've been told, it's horse drawn. It's probably early 1900s, a lucerne rake. Obviously you cut your lucerne with the old mowers there, and then they'd rake it up in the bundles and then possibly tie it up by hand. So I'm pretty sure it's the 1900s, and then before we progress to baling hay with balers. Here we are again at Bruce Nicholson's. We're at his tractor shed this time here at Baan Baa, and a lot of these tractors he takes to the, you may have seen them at the Boggabri Campfire, where all the caravanners turn up, and some blokes have seen them for years. But I'll give you a description of what we've got here. We've got a 55 Massey there. It's a petrol kerosene, about a 54, 58 model. It came from down in near Finley, Berrigan, below us here in New South. Then we've got a case tractor here, which is very common. I'd possibly say that case may have been sold at Boggabri by McKechnie Brothers Garage. It's petrol kerosene, done many hours here. And then we run onto a 44K Massey here. That one we got from, that one come from up near Gatton in Queensland, in the sort of the veggie growing area. It's about a probably 48 model. And then we've got a little 22 Massey here. And 20 Massey, actually, that one is there. Not very common little tractor. It come from up in Queensland there, just behind Wet and Wild, mind you, behind the big park. It's a very good go. It was used for just small farming, little grazier, a bit of hay cutting and so forth. And then we can move on down to a little international tractor here. That one came from Hillston, down south of here. A little W4 Inter petrol Kero. It was owned by a butcher originally. We presume for his little bit of farming and to do with his cattle work and his butchery shop. It was, when we got that, it was covered up by a briar bush. It took us a fair bit of time to get it out. The bonnet was flattened by the cattle. We straightened it all out and we actually got that machine running. It's, and it done a lot of work, they tell us, one year at Hillston with the floods, I think shifting and towing people around. And then we'll move on here. We got a red 25, which is a style 25. We spoke about this before. We got a wreck one we showed you over there. And this one was badly seized. It come from Lake Goldsmith down south of here. Used for a bit of farming and driving a saw bench. That's, I think most of its work was done because it's not very worn, the tractor, but it was badly seized with water, and that old one that we got out of a creek, we're able to salvage a couple of pistons and a sleeve and at it and got it going, and it's a real good goer. I think it's 38 as well. And if we just nip around the corner a little bit here, we've got one tucked down the back here. That's a green Model 25. They're all American tractors. It's about 1936. That tractor is totally original. I bought off the original owner in Warwick-Nabil, Victoria. It was just used for straight wheat farming. That's all he done with that. It's a very original tractor, radiator, everything. The motor is still a very good run of the motor, never really been touched. It's on the original steel wheels, and right, cause next to it there, then we pan around, we've got a binder, we call it, or some call it a reaper, depends which state you come from, for making sheaved hay. That's a 6-footer. It could be either horse drawn or tractor drawn, that one, as there's a wheel down the back that drove it. There's no mechanical shaft to drive, it's all wheel driven. And then of course next to it there, amongst the little air compressors, is I think it's a Horde Bagshaw. That super spreader there, it's all wooden. It'll be back in maybe the 30s. It's actually a going machine. So it's probably the first of them to be actually tractor drawn instead of being drawn by a horse, even though it's all wooden, and it's all mechanically drive from the steel wheels with a chain driven apparatus on it.